always on the go, but the day just won't be one without your Hollywood fix. Let Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast take care of that. An all-inclusive look of pop culture.
Hello and welcome to GSMC Entertainment Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Cynthia, and happy, Monday, everybody. To be honest, I don't even know how to start this podcast. I don't even know what mood I'm in. I'm sure we're all on the same boat here, and I'm sure, you guys already know what I'm here to talk about. That's all anybody's talking about these last few days, especially here in the U.S., just because it has rapidly impacted us in such a short amount of time. And, it's all affecting us in some shape, way, or form. So, yes, that's why I named the title of this podcast March Madness. And not because of the NBA, which, I did get the idea from the NBA, but, sadly, there are no more. The NBA season is canceled or suspended. And it truly is madness. Like, when I was thinking of March Madness, I was thinking of basketball. I was not thinking of this coronavirus mess. I went to work this morning. I work at a gym, and it was obviously a lot slower because gyms are one of the most, it's germs everywhere, right? So everyone's very high risk. And I was in this tug of war because at one hand, I want my gym to close because I don't want to put myself at risk. I don't want to put others at risk. But on the other hand, it's also like my livelihood. You feel me? And I'm sure that's like how most working Americans are feeling at the moment. And we just got an email this morning. I worked this morning and I just got an email about an hour ago, so right before I started recording this podcast, that they have temporarily closed my job, which is like I said, on one hand, it's great. It's good because, again, I don't have to put myself at risk. I don't have to put others at risk, especially working at a gym. It is just like germ infested. But now I don't have a job. So that's that. So to be honest, as I said, I don't really know how I'm going to start this podcast. I am trying to stay positive. That's all I could really do, right? Take it day by day. I don't want to cause extreme anxiety or stress on myself because that's also not good for my mental state or for my immune system, which at the moment it is very, very, very important to keep a strong immune system during this crisis. So yeah, I just want to keep it real with y'all, keep it raw because that's how I am. And I can't really front and be like extremely happy as I normally am just because, again, it's just like a really tough situation. Not to like make myself the victim here. Like I said, many other people are also experiencing this. It's just like a really sudden and unexpected situation, how fast this virus took off. But I'm going to talk mainly about the virus, on today's episode. I'm going to be explaining, celebrities who have been tested positive for the virus. I'll also explain how the virus has impacted the entertainment industry in Hollywood. It's just crazy. This is such like a domino effect, and we're all just living the consequences of this virus. So here we go. Just a few hours ago, this one, my heart hurt when I found out about this. Idris Elba, just this morning, he tested positive for coronavirus, which I'm like, no, why Idris Elba? He's like one of my favorite actors. I'm sure most people really love him. And he took on Twitter, that's how I found out. So on Twitter, he posted a video explaining how he, got tested for positive for coronavirus this Monday morning today. He said he wasn't experiencing any symptoms, but has been self-quarantining since learning that he contracted the virus. So he explained that he was exposed to somebody last week, and they found out last Friday that they were tested positive for the virus. So once he found out on Friday that this person he came in contact with tested positive, that's when he self-quarantined, got tested. He got his results today, ends up being positive. So now our man Idris Elba is tested positive. But the key thing here is he did not have any symptoms, which is really important for us young people, millennials especially. Many of us probably are not going to feel the symptoms. And if we do, get tested positive and everything, we'll be able to bounce back from it compared to other high risk individuals, people with respiratory problems, pre-existing medical conditions. So I love the transparency that Idris Elba conveyed in his video saying, if you think you have it, if you're feeling any symptoms, or even if you don't feel any symptoms, if you just feel like you've been around a lot of people, get tested. So I really love that he's pushing that and letting the world know, like, you don't need to have symptoms to realize that you may be infected and potentially harm other people. So that was kind of the breaking news for today's Monday morning here. Idris Elba, one of the celebrities who got tested positive for coronavirus. And coronavirus has affected Orlando Bloom and Katy Perry's wedding plans, as well as it has affected all of our future plans. They have been quarantined together, this couple. So due to the virus just messing everything up, their wedding needs to be pushed back. They were going to have a destination wedding, Orlando Bloom and Katy Perry, but have decided during this crisis it is not the best idea to continue on with the wedding planning. Again, because we also don't know how long this is going to last, right? There's just like a lot of uncertainty right now. But it's just very important that we need to stay calm. Very, very important. I'm trying to tell myself that too, as I just found out I'm jobless. So that's great. Anyway. This one also, surprised me a lot, and I was very sad about it, and it was all over the news. My mom texted me did you know this person got tested for coronavirus? So Tom Hanks and his wife, Rita. I know most of you may have already know this already, since you've most likely been keeping up with, the news and whatnot. So Tom Hanks announced his diagnosis of testing positive for coronavirus on Wednesday last week, saying that while in Australia, he was filming, he was in pre-production for some movie. He and his wife, Rita, came down with symptoms. They actually, unlike Idris Elba, they actually were experiencing symptoms resembling a cold. So they were getting body aches and fevers and just overall not feeling well. And since they found out their diagnosis, they have been in isolation, away from everybody, just to make sure they don't transmit the disease to anybody else. And he has been, keeping us posted via Instagram with some cute little Instagram posts. So in his first Instagram update following that initial post of him announcing to everybody that he's tested positive, Tom Hanks thanked those who had helped him while in isolation in Australia. And he, just asked people to take care of one another. And I quote, "There are things we can do to get through this by following advice from experts and taking care of ourselves and each other. No? Remember, despite all the current events, there is no crying in baseball." And this is referencing his classic line from the film, A League of Their Own. So it's Tom Hanks is just one of the nicest people. So it's really heartbreaking to see him and his wife go through something really hard at the moment. I'm glad, again, they're taking responsibility of their health and making sure they're not endangering others. And, they're in isolation. And again, I just really appreciate the transparency of Tom Hanks. Like I said, it's really important to let the public know what's going on, to let us know this is real, this is affecting us, and we need to, be serious about the matter. And then early Sunday morning yesterday, he posted his second update to his Instagram account, and he posted a picture of a plush kangaroo toy holding the Australian flag next to his breakfast, which It looked like Nutella toast. And again, he's just kind of updating us. Like, he says he's feeling better and, just still waiting to see if he can fully recover from this, which I think he will. He's strong, And also something really touched my heart was his longtime Toy Story co-star, Tim Allen, replied. So once Tom Hanks posted that second post of the kangaroo, the plush kangaroo, Tim Allen replied in character as Buzz Lightyear. He said, "Woody," he wrote, "I should have made you two wear my spacesuits. You and Rita eat and get well." And this was via Twitter. And as he responded to that, he posted a picture of Buzz Lightyear, because for those of you who don't know, Tim Allen does the voice for Buzz Lightyear and Tom Hanks is the voice for Woody in Toy Story. So it was just all touching our hearts, with all of these childhood memories. And again, I wish Tom Hanks and Rita and Idris Elba a very speedy recovery. I have very high hopes that they'll be able to recover from this. And again, I'm just happy that they are taking these matters seriously. They are being very transparent with the public and being responsible with their health. And I'm going to cut into our first quick break here. When we come back, I'll share with you guys more on public figures, which public figures have now been tested positive for coronavirus.
Want to find out what movies to go see? Then check out the GSMC Movie Podcast. It's your ticket to the latest movies, whether it's a new blockbuster event, romantic, comedy, or action flick. This show has got it all covered. They talk some what to go see now, don't bother, what's hot on Netflix, and everything in between. That's GSMCpodcast.com/movie-podcast. When it's all about the movies, it has to be this new show. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
Hey guys, and welcome back to GSMC Entertainment Podcast. Let's get straight into it. So the next set of information here that I'm going to share with you guys, again, I'm sure this is not, news to you guys. This was definitely, in my opinion, probably the most pivotal point in terms of the public taking coronavirus seriously, and that's myself included. I knew it was serious, but I guess because I was thinking, it's happening on the other side of the world, it's not going to affect me too much. But this situation for sure spooked many of us and kind of set in oh shoot, this is real stuff and anybody can be affected. So if you haven't guessed already, I'm talking about Rudy Gobert, the 27-year-old NBA star from the Utah Jazz. He also tested positive for coronavirus. And this was just 2 days after he carelessly touched multiple microphones during a press conference mocking the severity of coronavirus. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, there's a video circling around. You can look it up. After a press conference, he literally just touches with his bare hands all these microphones, again, making fun of coronavirus isn't that serious, whatever. I think that is also just a careless act because he is young, and we have been told by the media that coronavirus are people who are 65 or older or have a pre-existing medical condition are more at risk. So I feel like that's why many millennials, myself included, we're not taking the virus seriously because we just assume it's not going to affect us. We're not going to get sick. But here is a 27-year-old professional basketball player who got tested positive. He was the first professional athlete to test positive for the virus. And as a result, the NBA canceled the rest of the season, and that started the trickling domino effect. We have baseball season canceled. We have all sports canceled. And again, I think it was this pivotal moment right there. Rudy Gobert testing positive. Again, he's young. He's an athlete, so that really set in and was like, everyone was like, oh my God, like Rudy Gobert, like he's my age and he tested positive. So I think when we're able to relate to somebody and he's more in our age bracket, or like I'm 24, you feel me? So like he's more in my age bracket, and the fact that like this was the first time I heard of somebody near my age getting tested positive for coronavirus, I was like, oh my God, like I could get it too. And not even for me, you guys, like even my job at the gym, we've already been clean, but even our owner like upped our cleaning policies tremendously and was like, we need to step it up after the Rudy Gobert situation, because this is just wild. It was a trending topic on Twitter, and it's just really crazy. He did receive, he was widely criticized for his careless act of, touching multiple microphones, and he's now definitely paying for it. He wasn't considering other people he was going to harm. Some of his teammates said he was even careless in the locker rooms, not being very clean, touching everybody's stuff. So this is now a result of, his careless actions. He did issue a public apology, saying that he wished he would have taken, this thing more seriously. And because of this, he has donated more than $500,000 to assist people affected by the virus and related closures. Not only that, he's also giving $200,000 to part-time employees of the Vivint Smart Home Arena in Salt Lake City, where the Utah Jazz play, whose jobs were affected by the NBA's decision to suspend the season, which I think that's really great of him to do, because like those part-time employees, myself, we're all out of jobs due to the virus. And it's nobody's fault, but this is just the scenario, the scenario we're all living. Rudy Gobert also promised that he will be donating $100,000 to support coronavirus-related social services in Utah and Oklahoma City to his home country, France. So, he's trying to, do things to kind of correct his past actions. And it's definitely a lesson for him, I know for sure. And unfortunately, because of this careless act of touching all these microphones, his teammate Donovan Mitchell also tested positive. So Rudy Gobert, transmitted this disease onto Donovan Mitchell again, another very young athlete, 23 years old. So millennials, if you are listening, pay attention. We can also get the virus. We may not feel the symptoms, but we could potentially pass them on to someone else who's more at risk. So they reportedly sat next to each other on the plane, Donovan and Rudy Gobert. And luckily they both said that they're both feeling better, and they both urged the public to avoid making, the mistakes that Rudy Gobert did. Take this seriously and just be clean. Wash your hands. You feel me? And so that's mainly, hopefully I don't have to announce more celebrities or public figures that have been contaminated by the coronavirus. But as of right now, Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell, Idris Elba, Tom Hanks, and his wife Rita have all been tested positive. I know there have been some coaches in the professional sports world who've also been tested positive, but I don't think you guys would know them by name. You guys can look it up. But anyway, moving on. I will now be sharing with you guys how the coronavirus has been impacting Hollywood and the world of entertainment, because there have been some major downfalls, decision making here, which again, this is all companies, people being proactive to keep our society safe. And I ain't mad at it, but this virus is stopping everybody's bag. We're all losing money here, so we're all in the same boat. So we all know Coachella postponed, Disneyland closed, which, if you know, Disneyland never closes. So that was a complete shocker. James Bond won't return to theaters as scheduled, which I'm very sad about. Good Morning America. They're not filming in front of studio audiences. Others like Amazing Race, they've also suspended production. And there are even concerns about the fate of the 2020 Summer Olympics, all because of the virus. I'm still kind of shook. Like, I'm like, going through these things, talking about the virus, and it's just wild to me that we're living in this moment, you feel me? Like, we're literally living in history. This is going to be talked about forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. It's just wild. And again, it's just stopping everything. Like, the whole world is just being put on pause. And I feel like none of us really know what to do with ourselves, including, these celebrities. Like, these celebrities are going to have to partake in regular daily activities like us normal people do, such as watching Netflix, at-home workouts, playing Uno with the family. So it's definitely a very interesting time we're living in right now. And more on how the virus is impacting entertainment. So the 55th Academy Country Music Awards will be postponed as well. It was set to the original date was for April 5th, and they're now pushing it back to September. In addition, the iHeartRadio Music Awards, originally set for March 29th, have also been postponed. So you see all of these major events where huge gatherings are usually taking place are not being pushed back. Again, this is all just extra precautions we're all taking, which is very good. Nickelodeon's 2020 Kids' Choice Awards also postponed. So all of these award shows are being pushed back. And let me just say, fall is going to be a busy time for everybody. Fall, hopefully this whole situation gets fixed quicker than that. But from the looks of it, I'm not sure. But fall, it's going to be a busy time for everybody. Everybody's going to be flying. Everyone's going to festivals, award shows. Hopefully we'll be getting back to our normal routine by this time. But yeah, I'm just reading everything, postpone this, postpone that. And it's it's going to, the end of the year is going to be busy for us. So we're just going to have to wait and see. And also, how else has the virus impacted the entertainment world? So Latin legends Juanes and Alejandro Sanz, they originally joined forces. They were going to tour together, but instead they're going to be conducting a live stream concert instead of touring. So they will bring the concert inside fans' homes, and they will stream the performance on YouTube on March 15th at 4:30, which I think that was literally yesterday. So I didn't get to see it. If you saw the concert or streamed it, let me know and tell me how it was, because I love Juanes. I grew up, listening to Juanes. For those of you who don't know, Juanes, he's from Colombia, this Latino artist. He has really great songs. You don't have to understand Spanish to enjoy his music, okay? Spanish music is for everybody. And I'm going to cut into another quick break here. When we come back, I'll share with you guys more on how the virus has impacted the entertainment industry.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Hello and welcome back to GSMC Entertainment Podcast. And right before the break, I was sharing with you guys, some unfortunate events. We got Coachella postponed. We got theme parks closing. We have, all of these award shows being pushed back. Concerts are being canceled. People are turning to live streams. So all of these things are happening and it's just kind of crazy. Okay. Like we got to all just hold on together because this is going to be a wild ride for a few months. And more on how the virus has pretty much been messing up our lives. So Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. No, it's Dwayne The Rock Johnson. That's how you say his name. So Dwayne The Rock Johnson. His upcoming Netflix film, Red Notice, has also come to a halt. Production of his movie has stopped as of today, Monday. Which I'm also sad because I feel like any movie Dwayne Johnson's in, I just liked him as an actor, so I probably would have liked to see that movie, but it's okay because I know there's going to be tons of Netflix movies I'll be watching during my, self-quarantine. So it'll be good. And then also, Ellen DeGeneres has also suspended production for her daytime talk show. Ellen, she tweeted, "Hey there, me again. So after some thought, we have decided to suspend production completely until March 30th. We just want to take every precaution to ensure that we do our part to keep everyone healthy. I love you guys and can't wait to come back. I'm already bored." Same, girl. Same, okay? I feel like that's everybody. We're all going to be extremely bored during these weeks. Hopefully just weeks and not months. So it's important. We all got to find some, indoor activities, things that are fun. It's just such an interesting time we're living in right now. I know I keep saying it, but it's just it's crazy that even entertainment is coming to a pause. The whole world is just shutting down. So it's crazy. It's definitely crazy. And also, the Jonas Brothers, they canceled their Las Vegas residency for the month of April. Production of The Bachelorette Season 16 has also been put on pause. Just like Good Morning America, there are no studio audiences for America's Got Talent, nor for Family Feud. The production company for these shows, which is Fremantle, they announced on March 13th that effective immediately, both shows will stop filming in front of live studio, again, to social distance. That's really important right now, to distance ourselves from other people. And again, all to just minimize the risk of exposure to the virus. And the decision follows similar moves made by other studios regarding news programs and talk shows in LA and New York. I just read too, all of LA is basically on lockdown, venues, gyms, restaurants, bars, clubs. So especially LA, that's the entertainment hub. They're completely slow, and even their traffic is slow, which is absolutely insane because if you know LA traffic, it's absolutely horrendous. So it definitely impacting entertainment world hard. In addition, days earlier to all of this being announced, co-judge Howie Mandel, he's a known germaphobe for those of you who don't know, he was photographed arriving to an America's Got Talent wearing a hazmat suit. So if you guys don't know what a hazmat suit, it's basically a suit from head to toe. I'm sure if you've been on social media and you've seen memes of people working on these total body white suits, that's what a hazmat suit is. And just like Naomi Campbell, she she's been about this. She is the definition of you gotta be ready. Or what's the saying? See, I'm about to mess it up. It says, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. That's exactly Naomi Campbell. She embodies that completely. So a couple years back, Naomi Campbell, she posted a video of how she travels because, she's a supermodel. She travels a lot. It's part of her job description, basically. And a couple years back, in the video, she is sanitizing every single part of her seat. She places a blanket over her airplane seat, her first class airplane seat, by the way. So she puts a blanket, she sanitizes she Lysol wipes the tray, the charger, basically anything that you touch in an airport or like in the airplane, she sanitizes it, all while wearing a mask and wearing gloves. And mind you, this was a couple years back. So she was explaining how people gave her weird looks, people make fun of her, but she's like, I don't care, germs. And airplanes are one of the most, again, germ-infested places. Just until recently, they upped their cleaning procedures, which is crazy to me because you have thousands of passengers flying in a plane, and it's a small, claustrophobic area, and the fact that they weren't cleaning it as regularly as they should have been is kind of alarming. But anyway, so Naomi Campbell been ready. And then she just posted a YouTube video a few days back saying how her cleaning procedure for herself has even upgraded even more, which she is already a very clean lady. So she also shows up to LAX in a hazmat suit. She's flying from LAX to JFK JFK Airport in New York. And she is in full protective mode. She is not trying to catch this virus. Hazmat suit, glasses on, she got gloves, she has a mask, which I've also heard a lot of controversial things about the mask. That's a whole different story though. She takes vitamin C packets, cayenne pepper because that's supposed to be good for your immune system. And she gets on this plane and she flies. So hazmat suit. Hopefully we don't need to get to that point where we need it, but for extra precaution, you are more than welcome to do it. And how else has a virus messed up, the entertainment world? Grey's Anatomy, which I know many people are fans of that show, and I may need to get into it during this time of self-quarantine because everyone talks so highly of the show. So Grey's Anatomy, their production has also come to a halt. The Wendy Williams show has also paused. So for all of my, people who love gossip, you're going to have to go somewhere else for that because Wendy Williams isn't going to be dishing it out anymore. Disney has also postponed the theatrical release of several movie titles, including Mulan, The New Mutants, and Antlers, which I'm bummed about Mulan because I was really looking forward to watching that movie. Mulan was supposed to come out within the next couple of weeks. And again, it's the remake of the animated version. And I was mostly excited because I want to compare the animated versus this new one. So I guess I'm going to have to wait and see when to see that movie. But I mean, they're closing movie theaters as well. So it doesn't really make sense to release movies to a theater when there's no movies, you feel me? They want to make money. No one's going to be going to a movie theater during the crisis. And in addition, Live Nation Entertainment and AEG Presents suspend all tours, which include, so Live Nation Entertainment, they're the people who sell the tickets. I'm sure if you went to a concert, you probably went through one of these two companies to purchase your concert ticket. And some of the tours that are being, canceled are Billie Eilish, Celine Dion, Jason Aldean, Cher, Kiss, Post Malone, Blake Shelton, Green Day, Madonna, and many other artists. So, as I said, it's stopping the bag for everybody. Everybody's suffering. Universal Studios out in Hollywood also temporarily closed. So, like I said, many theme parks are closing, which very smart because there is thousands of people who gather there. Fast and Furious 9, the release has been pushed back until April 2021, which was originally set to release this year in May. So they're now pushing the release date in another year. Kind of crazy. And this one I'm also bummed about too, because if you listen to the movie podcast, I host that one with my co-host Keith. I talked about, one of the movies I'm really looking forward to seeing this year is The Quiet Place 2. The Quiet Place is basically, and I do air quote, horror film. Not that scary, but still a good film. And I really liked the first one. So when I found out that The Quiet Place 2 was going to be releasing, I believe this month in March, I was super stoked. I wanted to go watch that movie. However, The Quiet Place 2 has also been pushed back, just like Fast and Furious 9 or F9, Mulan, all the other Disney films. Joe Krasinski, who is the director of The Quiet Place, he announced how, unfortunately, they will be pushing back the release date for The Quiet Place 2, which is obviously a business move because they want to make money, and they're not going to make money when no one's going to the movie theater. So I know I kind of went everywhere in that last segment. I was mainly just me sharing with you guys how the virus is affecting the entertainment world in Hollywood. And this was really shocking to me to find all of these things out. It's truly just putting all of our lives on pause, and we all got to find some new hobbies, or we're all just going to be binge watching Netflix. I mean, at this point, Netflix is going to be making tons of money during this time. So again, I'm going to wrap it up here because that was a lot. I'm out of breath. Okay. I need to drink some water. But I hope, again, this is not for me to scare you guys. I'm not here. This is purely for entertainment purposes. You can watch the news if you want to get scared, okay? I'm just here to share with you guys how the virus is affecting, industries throughout the world. And I wish all of the celebrities and everybody who's affected or been affected by the virus a speedy recovery. And that's going to wrap up today's episode, you guys. If you liked what I had to talk about, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, all of that good stuff. Hopefully you guys are able to binge hear or binge listen all of the podcasts, since many of us aren't going to be working, or we're all working from home. And I want to thank you all for tuning in to today's podcast. And I wish you all, sending you all positivity, and I hope you all just take care of one another, stay safe, stay clean, wash your hands. And until next time.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. From movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.